ready to read chapter 18 of Frostheart today, which is called A Frozen Heart. The cargo hold, which spanned 2 levels and the entire space below the upper deck, was dark and damp. Ash squinted into the shadows, the floor rolling beneath him, wood creaking and rope groaning as it strained to hold down the small amount of cargo the Frostheart carried. A worryingly small amount, Ash thought, especially when Luna led him past the sleigh's rations. There were crates of armour and amber from the Thudruck stronghold, lanterns and weapons from the Fear, salted fish, and the bones of great sea beasts from the floating Mersu strongholds of the Rust clan, but the barrels of food were disturbingly depleted. Is this going to be enough for us to get by till the next stronghold? Ash asked, hoping he sounded inquisitive rather than afraid. Maybe. Gotta tighten our belts though, that's for sure. We were run ragged coming this far north. Less and less strongholds till we were worried we'd reached the end of civilization. Finally found the Fearer, thank the stars. But slim trading to be had there, Luna explained, dragging some crates outside. She turned round to face Ash and saw the look of worry on his face. Welcome to the life of a Pathfinder, Ash, that until now well fed. But we've got through worse scrapes than this, believe me. Now, help me move these crates. Together, they dragged the crates aside, revealing a big metal container. Light shone brightly from within as Luna opened it, illuminating their faces. Whoa! Ash whispered. The container held a large spherical sunstone, shining radiant and gold. But, thought Ash, the fact that the Frostheart only carried one was pretty concerning as well, seeing as how the power of a sunstone did not last long. Luna hefted one of the stones with a smile. This is bright and stark, no question. I've seen a hot one set an entire sleigh alight once. She handed it to Ash, who took it carefully, turning it around in his hands. It was warm to the touch and was much bigger than any he'd held before. It's amazing, Ash said, but the Fearer had sunstones too, even if they are just shards. The lullaby told me that I need to travel far. Why would I need to travel far for something the Fearer have already? And the line is cold and stark. This is definitely warm. You're right. The mystery deepens. Luna put her hand to her chin and acted like she was stroking an imaginary beard. Ash joined her. A drifting star, a beacon that needed protecting. What did it mean? Was it even an object or a metaphor? Why couldn't his parents just write him a stupid note? Luna snapped her fingers. There is something else, but... She crossed the hold to its centre, where the base of the main mast rose up through the ceiling to the deck. There she pushed aside another crate, revealing something quite spectacular. An ice blue stone, perhaps the size of a fist, sat within a specially made hollow within the mast. Like a sunstone, it emanated an ethereal glow, but, unlike the golden warmth of a sunstone, this was cold and turquoise, like a star made of ice. Wisps of frosted air drifted from it like freezing breath. A glistening sheen of frost radiated out from into the wood, creating circular patterns that were intersected by fern-like markings, just like the frost on the smooth surface of a stone. As he looked in wonder, Ash swore that he could hear a gentle twinkling sound coming from within the cold stone. He reached out to touch it. Careful, Luna called, but too late. Ow! Ash cried, pulling his finger back and clenching it tight. It's freezing! What is it? This, my friend, is the Frostheart itself. Legend says the previous owner of the sleigh got it from another Pathfinder, who got it from another Pathfinder, who got it from a mysterious cloaked figure who found it in the remains of Glacier, the only stronghold in history that even got close to the size of Aurora. What happened to it? Ash asked, fearing he already knew the answer. Leviathan's course, Luna said, her eyes momentarily glazing over with anger. Meant to be a lovely place, built atop ruins from the world before, but it was best known for the Frost Spire, a ginormous lighthouse that could be seen for the leagues around. Its light said to come from nothing less than a Leviathan heart found deep within the ruins themselves. She stuck her tongue out in mock disgust, but Ash could tell she enjoyed the story. One guess as to what this is meant to be. The Leviathan's heart? Ash looked at it in wonder. A thought struck him. So this was literally an ancient shining beacon. Why didn't you take this to me straight away? Because there is no way on your mother-son's backside Captain Nook will ever give it to you. It means too much of her, to all of us. Ash felt a flush of embarrassment. Right, sorry. I didn't mean it in that way, he said. Truth be told, He wasn't sure what he was meant to do with this thing now that he'd found it, other than guard and protect it, apparently. But from what? And where was this prison the lullaby spoke of? Who was in it? What does it do? He whispered, still trying to warm his freezing cold finger. Nothing, really. We think of it as the heart of the sleigh, keep it as a kind of good luck charm, I guess, but it means the world to the Cap, and that means that it means the world to us. The Frostheart's resonance was chilling, yet calming all the same, until... Where are they? Came Captain Nook's furious voice from above. Where are those idle, good-for-nothing layabouts? Luna jumped, then tried to look nonchalant. Now, earlier, when I say Cap wouldn't notice we'd slacked off, what I meant to say was, there's probably a good chance she'll notice we've slacked off. We'd better get back up there. Right, Ash said, unable to take his eyes away from the Frostheart. As amazing it was, he still didn't understand what relevance it had to his parents, and if this was what the lullaby was guiding him towards at all. But he was undeniably drawn to it. The sound it made was subtle, barely audible, but captivating. In fact, it was like the most beautiful Leviathan song he'd ever heard, but small and far, far away, like the distant howling of a snowstorm. And if he really strained his ears, Ash thought he could just make out vague whispers. Crows. Harsh. Broken. Luna, can you hear that? A song coming from the heart. The song had faded again, lost to him. All I hear is a very angry Mercy who may be about to throw us overboard. We have to go, Ash. You ain't seen Cap when she's really angry. Ash managed to tear himself away from the spell the Frostheart had him under. Yeah, we'd better get back on deck, he said. Mind elsewhere. The Frostheart had mentioned crows. Ash was sure of it. Did this have something to do with those crows he'd seen? It really was unusual to see them this far north. A feeling of unease washed over him. He stole one last look at the Frostheart before rushing up to act as though he'd been mopping the deck the whole time. End of chapter 18.